Hey guys, welcome to Nerds and Nuance. I'm Ian, and we are back with more The Last of Us. Now I know probably the first two episodes will be coming up relatively the same time together. Hopefully just the first two and not the three coming out at once. I had some issues, with the recording last episode. It was hard to. There were some technical difficulties, so hopefully I won't get slowed down by that kind of crap again. But anyway, last episode, great start to the series. One for one almost, and the changes that they made I really liked. That added more to it. Added kind of some small depth to it that I guess in the game some people probably wouldn't appreciate. They're wanting to just kind of have the game get started. Because you know what the game is going to be about. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember any advertising for it, but I'm pretty sure they were advertising the zombie apocalypse of it all. So they're not going to be in the normal bourbon. Oop. They're not going to be the normal. Hey, shut up. Normal bourbon area too much. But no, yeah, that also kind of added more to the sadness of the heartbreak of losing Sarah. Actress did a great job, and again, the look in her eyes when the fear and the word escapes me, just the terror and fear and everything. I think I already said that, but just she did a great job. It was heartbreaking watching her, and Pedro Pascal also did a great job as well. He does a great Joel. I like both their performances. Bella, what's her name? Ramsey, I think that's what it was. Let me double check. Yep, Bella Ramsey. She did a great job. I mean, I love her as Ellie. She's a really good version of Ellie. I get the kind of the same vibe of just the not giving a fuck kind of attitude. Yeah, that was really cool. Seeing the little bits of again the beginning part with Tess and them kind of dealing with the fireflies. God dang that dog. So we're probably I'm assuming we're gonna see clickers this episode because I didn't see it during the show while watching it, but apparently there was a clicker on the building, not the one in the very foreground, but or background, but the one more in the foreground on top of the side buildings. It's really hard to make it out. I don't know how many of you guys saw it, but yeah, I did not see that. So I feel like this is gonna be where things really pick up. So.
We'll get her to your crew, but before we hand her over, they give us everything that we want. If not, we kill her. Deal?
Really? That fast?
It's a very interesting way to do a previous, kind of just like a trailer for the next episode kind of thing. Oh, don't open the mouth. Especially, watch your hand. And why that just doesn't... Oh! Yep, out! Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. Ugh.
Tidak ada obat. Dan tidak ada vaksin. Bom.
Oh, brother! I guess that should have. Yeah, I should have thought that was gonna be the solution. I mean, it makes sense. As sucky as that is.
Apa ada yang bisa antar saya pulang?
Oh.
Saya hanya ingin bersama dengan keluarga, dengan suami dan anak-anak saya.
Jesus. Okay. Yep. Sure, we'll just start it like that. God. Oh. Ugh. God. I hate that so much. Jesus. Disgusting.
We've heard this a million times. Vaccines, miracle cures. None of it works. Ever.
Fuck you, man. I didn't ask for this.
You and me both. This isn't gonna end well, Tess. We need to go back.
It doesn't matter if she is or she isn't what the Fireflies say. If they believe that she is, then we get what we want.
If she so much as twitches.
Bruh,
Don't.
for real?
Okay.
He's not messing with you, kid. Come on.
So there aren't super infected that explode fungus spores on you?
Shit, I hope not.
Or ones with split open heads that see in the dark like bats?
So no bloaters or whatever they're called. I'm blanking on them.
What was that? Was it hard? Like knowing they were people once?
Once.
Sometimes.
Oh, still is? Okay.
What about that guy last night?
Put the gun down, Joe.
She's like, no.
The fungus also grows underground. Long fibers like wires, some of them stretching over a mile. Now, you step on a patch of cordyceps in one place, and you can wake a dozen infected from somewhere else.
Okay.
Now they know where you are, now they come. You're not immune from being ripped apart. You understand? It's important. I'm trying to keep you alive.
That's freaky. God, I hate that. Hive mind zombies? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Cooked.
Oh, finally some fucking luck.
I guess we should have gone this way in the first place.
Oh shit.
He's new.
I don't hear it.
Who would you hear? Who would you hear? Are you saying an infected did that? Because I've been attacked by one and it wasn't like that.
Okay, from this point forward, we are silent. Not quiet. Silent.
Whoa.
No question.
Just saying, in real life, I would, as soon as that happens, I'm about running because that seemed to stay unstable. Jesus Christ. Ugh. Oh. Ooh. Wasn't a lot of sound, no worries, right? God, so much worse than the game. Oh, sounds so good. God. I hate it. I hate it so much. This is terrifying, god dang. Oh, the light is making it so much worse. Stop it. Oh. They're doing a really good job with the body work, though. It's gonna be right there, isn't it? we got a brick or something we can throw at the other. Joel. Oh, dang it. Keep shooting. Oh, I don't know. See, those are those things. Ugh.
You alright?
Well, I didn't shit my pants.
Honestly, impressive.
You fucking kidding me?
What about the kid? You mean the first bite didn't take? And what about the second?
How about you just take the good news? Can you do that? Like to think for once maybe we can actually win? Just go and watch her.
You've been bitten already, haven't you? God, this looks so good, though. Not to take away from the devastation of this whole world, but man.
Joel? What the fuck is going on?
I don't know.
They went inside.
Tess!
Come on!
Tess!
Our luck had to run out sooner or later.
Fuck. She's infected.
Jeez. It's not even that long ago.
Oops. Right. And you said everything right. All the shit we did. Please say yes, Joel. Please.
Oh, fuck!
Oh no. I didn't even think about it. That's even worse than the spores!
Say who you can say.
No! We're not leaving her! Get off me, you fucker! I'm not going with you!
Behold, I'm one of you. I have but a single welcoming gift for us all. They're not going for her at all. Oh, I lied. Ah! Ah! What the heck? Fucking cordyceps were really feeling it that day. Good lord. Well, damn. I mean, yeah. Most of us knew that was gonna happen. But still sucks every time seeing it. They did it real well on this too. That one scene was weird though. Like, I know their whole goal is to pass it on, but they usually like are chomping at people, not kissing them. That was kind of a weird and very disturbing one. Oh God. One particular. Well, no, I wouldn't say particular. They're all kind of in a way like connected. So that particular, like appendage of theirs was feeling a very different way that day. I guess I don't know. That was. Oh, I hate that though. I was like, oh God, sorry, just got a weird that ringing that you hate. I don't like that. But yeah, so that sucked and was weird. It's also just like disgusting the thing like it just like working its way. I mean, it wants to get it down, create new members of itself. I guess I don't know how to explain it. It wants to spread the infection. It wants to spread the fungus. So it like, I don't know. I don't know why I did it that way, but whatever. It was just, I guess they wanted to just up the like disturbing bar a bit. God, it was just weird. But the rest of it, just plain terrifying. They really did a good job with building up the like absolute terror of the clickers. God, that was the worst. But apparently, there aren't going to be. Well, I'm assuming there's not going to be any bloaters because one. Again, I mentioned this during the episode, not sure if I kept it in, but that I didn't know going into the first episode that they were taking out the whole spores thing, which makes sense because otherwise, yeah, the world would be, screwed because there's no way to really protect yourself from that, at least not with masks, not just like, anyway. So that makes sense. They're kind of taking that out to give themselves, a chance. So they're probably aren't going to be like bloaters, which is a huge issue. Well, not huge. They were an issue because of the fact that there were spores. So when they were saying like they're the kind that shoot exploding spores at you, and Tess saying I hope not. So assumedly that's one, either they just don't exist, or two, they haven't run into that kind of infected before. That kind of an infected. But yeah, and then bringing up the way the heads kind of break open and they hear instead of seeing crap, and then it's like, oh, clickers, yep. I mean, I know they have that in the show because they showed that in the trailer, but the actors for the clickers, very good. I did not like your movements. I hated them so much. That's a good thing. Oh my God! And the light almost like made it worse because like we couldn't get a bead on them, and it's hard to shoot them in the head because they're more sporadic than we would be trying to bob and weave. There's not really an instinct. That's just how they move. They're just like erratic, and there's not really a rhythm to where they're moving. So it's not really an easy way to like predict where their head's gonna be all the time. So, and then you panic as they're rushing at you in that seems erratic movement. You're kind of just you're flailing. God dang. And you just kind of knew the way Tess was behaving afterwards. She got bit. And that was very interesting what they've added. Like while they took the spores out, they did add that if you step on a fungus or those little weird viney things, and they're in any kind of interaction with them, Jesus, then the others will feel it. Like the rest of it will feel it and send the horde, whatever's nearby, in that direction. Oh God, that's terrifying. They weren't really like connected in the game. There was not like it's not a hive mind from what I don't think, but it's more so just like they have the same nerves. So like if you poke someone in the finger, they know it. Obviously, so the rest of the body like pays attention to whatever poked it. So it's more. I think it's just more like that, or maybe it's not necessarily like a hive mind. I know that it would still kind of be. We're not. You know, our body's not a hive mind. It just controls different appendages. So maybe, I don't know if it's like that to where it's like it's just the body. Like the fungus is like the brain, and then the I don't know. Regardless of it, just like that's it's just more so saying it's not really supposed to, like a more. It's not. Jesus, I can't talk today. It's not as like defined as we are. It's just a loosely like it is connected. More general things that they're connected, which is terrifying and adds a little more, you know, danger to this whole thing while taking away the danger of the spores. It almost is more of a, like an immediate danger, more of a like you really have to be careful where you're stepping, and be careful. Like you can't just go willy-nilly killing an infected, because if you do, whether or not you made a noise, there's a chance that they'll know where you are. So I don't think it's only if the is it only the one, I don't know, because it would seem like the one that was in the ground like felt it like was climbing through the cracks and touching the fingers of the infected that Joel had just killed. So I don't know. But there is that chance that could happen. So you gotta be careful. And even if you just like step on a sponge of fungus, then they're just like, oh hey, there's somebody here. You know, let's have a party, guys. God, I can't get that disgusting image out of my head. Where that's weird that infected just gave Tess the kiss of death. I mean, she was already gonna die, but that was just. I mean, that is not gonna be pleasant. Like she was alive through that, feeling the fungus like crawling into her. Very different procedure that the other infected go through. I'm going to assume. Ugh. Bit of a spoilers. I'll put like a tag in the video, but for anybody who hasn't played the game and don't want to be spoiled, you'll know when this is over. But I don't know if I thought about it until just now, but which I really should have. I'm pretty sure others have. But when Joel, stops the Firefly scientist from taking the cure from Ellie, he not only, which in the more grand scale of things is a bit more important, but he not only stopped, them from making a cure for the world, for basically saving the world, but he, kind of threw Tess's sacrifice away and their hard work. I knew that, like, the hard work, that I already had that, but it's like thinking about, like, Tess, she wanted to go through this regardless, she got bitten, and also she was saying, this will make up, do this, make up for everything, but, all that we have done, she wanted that. She's like, I'm gonna die, don't let it be for nothing. And in a way he did. And it sucks but like, it's a really hard decision. Like, he had grown to care for Ellie, like, he saw her as his daughter. And it's just like, if your kid is the cure for the world, like, obviously, if you love the kid, obviously it isn't going to be an easy decision, but, like, would you do it? Like, would you be able to? Like, them having to give up their life just so that everybody else can live? Like, if you think about it just as a, like, what's the word? Like, logically or whatever, one for everybody else. It's like, yeah, I'll do that. But it's like the parent would sacrifice herself, without a thought. But sacrificing the kid, like, it's hard. It's hard. But maybe here's the thing. And I haven't played the second game, so don't spoil me on that. Maybe wait till, I know it's more people are going to have to go through, and, bring more people at risk, and people aren't going to be able to live the lives that they could. But maybe let Ellie live her life a bit. I don't remember if they have to be at a certain stage in her brain for them to be able to take it out, and then they need it, or if it was like, maybe it's not the same by the time she's older, but like, maybe wait for her to grow up, live a life a bit. But the thing is, Ellie would have probably given up her life for the sake of the world. So I don't know. Regardless, anyway. Sorry guys, there was a lot longer. There was some stuff in the mail that wouldn't have been a spoiler, but most of that was pretty spoiler. So apparently, I don't know if they really went into it in the game, but in here they were saying the infected die off over time. He said that they can go for about a month, maybe 3, but they obviously can live longer. You've seen some that have lived about 20 years. So I don't know, like, I guess maybe like over time, because we saw also there was like a clump of fungus where it was like bone dry, like they just died off. So there's something within the human body where after a while the fungus can't survive and it just dies again, basically. So I don't know exactly. There's not like a set limit on like the conditions, like they seem because they're in the dark a lot of times. But it was really interesting that there was like in the sunlight they reacted a different way, which just makes sense, just because like fungus is gonna react differently depending, like maybe not as noticeable, but like in a human living body where we can see a little more movement, it's gonna react differently because you see as the sunlight was moving, passing over the bodies, you could see like they would react for a bit more actively than the ones that were more in the shadow. So it was kind of interesting little detail. I was worried for Tess though when she went up on her own, because I was like, they're gonna have to get her infected somehow. I don't know how they're gonna go about it this time. I don't think she was infected before the clickers event. I feel like whenever she fell or whenever they jumped at her one time, maybe that was already a thing. I feel like that was probably when she got bit, but I wasn't sure when she went up and climbed through the hole by herself whether or not that was going to happen then. I feel like that's probably why they did that. Like one to kind of give Ellie and Joel a little bit of like kind of back and forth, kind of give that moment of like, yeah, we're not going to talk about me, I'm not going to give any information on myself. I don't really want to talk about myself and my past. We're going to have that little chunk that we've had before, that we had in the game, kind of put it in a more kind of not convenient, but concise, I guess. Kind of keep that in without taking any time away from certain things, while also kind of making us possibly. This might have been part of it, but like make us worried, like, oh god, this is when it's gonna happen. This could be when it happens. Oh my god, Tess, please not now. It's only episode 2. But unfortunately, this is when she got bit. This is when she died. God, I still hate that. Ugh. I hate the. Why the kiss? Why? What was that? I don't know how I feel. I mean, I know I feel disgusted by it. I don't know how I feel about the decision to do that. Like, it just seems odd that the fungus zombie would choose to pass it on that way when every other time it's bitten or torn somebody up, I guess. But I think usually they just bite. Or, I don't know. I'm not really sure what that was about. Maybe there are other messages we've only seen the bitten ones. Because there's not really a mark if they just do the whole kiss thing. Which is just, again, I don't know. Maybe because she was already bitten when they found her infected, like, the fungus is like, alright, honey, let me speed this up a bit. I still don't know. I did like, although, it's kind of unnecessary in knowing about everything, but it was kind of funny that, maybe funny is not the right word, sorry, that Joel was like, while Ellie was sleeping, and like they were up and ready, and as she woke up, they had the gun pointed at her, just because, like, yeah, you might not have changed, but that doesn't mean you won't. So you're in this world, you want to be prepared. You don't want to just let your guard down that somebody would just change when your back turned, and you could have done something about it. So, and again, at this time, Joel and Tess, they've been through a lot. They've done things that they probably regret, or that they regret. Like, I know Tess for sure regrets. It was Joel whenever Ellie, when Ellie was talking to him, he's like about having killed the infected before, asking if it was difficult, knowing that they were once alive. I wasn't expecting like it was. It used to be, but he said sometimes, which means like it still kind of is. But I do it anyway. And then she of course brought up the part where just a few hours ago he had killed this guy who was alive, who wasn't infected. He was doing his job. Granted, he was a little aggressive about it. I mean, and Ellie did stab him in the leg, but like that's what she was seeing. Like, you know, you kill this person who's alive. Granted, Ellie, you did stab him, but you didn't go for a kill. I don't know. Still, it was a gruesome sight just seeing him, you know, beat this guy's head into a bloody pulp. Now, the one thing I feel like Ellie probably shouldn't have done, now considering how these people, especially Joel, are like, you know, not trigger happy, but like they're what's the word? Heads on a swivel, you know. They're just paranoid, and you know they're trying to survive. Saying that this guy who was pointing a gun at you and was, you know, he wasn't holding back about just like he wasn't hesitating about keeping that gun pointed at your face. Just like if she so much as twitches and she actually like, acts like she's going like into a zombie, like why would you do that? Why would you tempt this man that is clearly killed somebody? Like, come on, I don't know, Ellie. Okay, real quick, going back to the very beginning of the episode, like the other flashback that they were doing. Interesting that they did that. I'm wondering if they're gonna do that throughout the rest, like the whole of the series. I'd be interested to see actually like parts of the world how they're reacting to that. Because in the beginning we saw, first off, the first episode, we saw like way in the past, in the 60s, the scientists talking about the possibility of this happening. And then I don't know if they stated the year, but like going back in a different country, like continent entirely, talking about, you know, they're bringing in this professor of mycology, and you know, she's like, yeah, cordyceps don't grow in humans, and they're like, yo, actually they do. Check this out. And oh my god, the just thinking of like the slow discovery of that, like, and then realizing like, look, I've been studying these things for years, for a good chunk of my life. There is no cure. There is no vaccine. The only way to deal with this is to bomb the city. Just get rid of it as best we can. And that's heartbreaking to just know we're basically doomed. And like having the knowledge to realize what's going on and not being able to do anything about it. And the fact that she knows like what she's saying, and she's, you know, my family's gonna die, I'm gonna die. And I like that she also didn't. I said this again in the reaction during the episode. I like that she didn't immediately try to convince them to fly her out of the city. Now maybe they could have flown her and her family out, but the thing is, nobody knows who has the infection. So she may know for sure she doesn't, but she doesn't know for sure her family doesn't. And regardless of that, like that could, you know, waiting to fly her and her family out would draw out the time that they have to contain the infection. Now, obviously, it obviously probably didn't originate from there. So, bombing the city didn't stop it, but they were trying to slow it down. But they probably succeeded in that. But I like that, again, point is, I like that she wanted to stay with her family. Like that takes a lot to be able to just kind of accept it, and not just accept it, like, because she could have convinced them, but she wanted to be with the family. So I did like that. That was really sad. I hated that moment actually. Like it was hard to watch a bit, to just kind of like think about that. Kind of finishing off, going back to the part with the scene where Tessa reveals that she's bitten and everything. They obviously did change it a little bit, you know, decent amount, but I did like the way they, like, what they kept and how they portrayed it and how it kind of connected. They didn't get like as heated. They did, but in a different way. But like with the way Joel was like trying to, like, he was really trying to dig in, like, you know, we're not doing this. But it was more so like finally Tess was like, I'm, you know, that's not my place, you know, and I'm gonna stay here because this is the end for me. And one thing that they did keep was, you know, one is saying, no, it's over, Tess, or I don't remember currently exactly, but the one part that stood out to me was when she was saying, you know, oops, right? Just I don't know why, but that kind of like that was in the game. But you know, again, all like the mixture of like what was in the game and what they decided to do in here, I think it mixed really well, and it was harder. Just like, you know, her saying, you know, you know, and then ask you to feel the same way I did, blah, 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 you know, all these different things. But do this, please. You know, get her out of here. Get her to where she needs to go. Fix what we've done, you know. Really drilling home that, you know, she regrets everything that they have had to do to this point. And she sees this as their kind of, not redemption, but like the way to set things right, I guess. I can't, and then the way she said, oh man, the way she was gonna go out, like it was different again. Like the bandits, I think it was what it was. Was it bandits that took them out? I think it was bandits that took out the Fireflies. But yeah, what was it? Either bandits or was it? I keep forgetting their name. Tess, you know, stood around and tried to find them off. She fought them off as much as she could. She bought them some time. This one, it was the, you know, infected that was lured by the fungus that, you know, that the fungus drew like a horde of them, which is like, I'm gonna make sure that they don't follow you. And, you know, grenades, gas, and then a lighter that I really feel like she could have just pulled a grenade, and then she wouldn't have to deal with that disgusting kiss from that infected. Really don't know about that choice. Ugh. But yeah, it was. I just really love that a lot of this is following the game. Now, it's not necessarily that it has to, but just like the fact that they're making an adaptation of this. Like, you need to keep the core of it and follow what the game, because the story of the game is good. So they've given you a blueprint. Just like follow it, maybe refine a little bit, add a little bit that adds to what already exists, not necessarily changing it entirely. You know, you got something here. So I like that they're doing that for once, and it's working out really well. I'm really worried and scared to see what comes in next, because I know what's going on, and I don't want to see. I do want to see, but I'm also terrified to see more of the infected, and maybe there are bloaters, or maybe there are even different ones. So. But anyway, that's the end of this episode for The Last of Us, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to stick around for next week's episode, well, hopefully these two will come out before that. But if you want to stick around for whenever that comes out, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I'll try to get to you guys as soon as I can.